Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. I want to preface this video before I get started that it is raining outside, so it's gonna have a little bit of an ambiance to the background noise in this video. It's raining pretty hard, so just keep that in mind as you watch. There will probably be some rain sounds and possibly some thunder. It hasn't been super stormy yet, but it's possible. Anyways, this is going to be all about my August journey in my health planner and some fails that I definitely had in terms of my health. I do want to start by saying I am still keeping this planner in my Elysian paper cover, paper cover. This is 2 leathers. I don't know what the names are anymore. I want to say it was like lemon or limon and then maybe even like a jade or something. This little guy here is just a killer duck sticker that I got from Sticky Club. He makes me happy, and every time I pull this out I'm like, stabby duck. I don't know, it just makes me laugh. But I haven't really changed anything else about the cover situation in this planner. It's been pretty standard with the same. Oh, also you might hear my rooster in the background too. He's saying good morning to everybody. For the beginning of the planner, I have not made any changes to my year at a glance. I'm still tracking my pain here, or my symptoms, I guess, down days, stomach issues, and headaches. I would say August was a pretty headache heavy month, and it was also a pretty down month for me. So I talked a little bit about this in July. I ended up losing my grandmother and my cat, and that kind of really upsetting energy stayed with me for a lot of the beginning of August, and I had my grandmother's funeral, and it was just not the best time for me. So I had a lot of days where I was just not my best, and I wanted to make sure I documented that. I haven't changed anything with the measurements or goals pages. And then for the quarterly pages, this is kind of where my biggest fails happened. So in August, I didn't exercise at all. I didn't go on walks. I didn't run. I didn't go to the gym. And this was all after I just did my 10K race in the month of July. So I basically fell off, and I want to say it's due mainly to the mental health that I was really struggling with, that I couldn't force myself to go. And I'm trying to be kind to myself because, you know, there's cycles of life and this happens. And I'm trying to do better in September. So it's just, I wanted to make sure that I documented this for myself in my planner so I can have something to look back on. And August was not the best month for my physical health because my mental health was in such turmoil. And I definitely, you know, I decided to kind of write a little blurb about that in the section where I would usually put dots in for my tracking of doing the exercises. So while there's not really anything that I did, I at least have some kind of, you know, message to myself of what was going on and maybe why I don't have anything checked off on those boxes. For the monthly section, I kept up with my mood tracking. I have seriously loved this so much. Looking back on this just makes me smile. It's Helen, if you watch this video Helen from the Coffee Monster Club, you watch this video, your emoji stickers are just some of my absolute favorites, and I will never get tired of looking at pages and pages of them and just looking at the different places of, you know, where my mind was when I put that sticker down. But yeah, August was definitely a tough month. I used a lot more of the negative emotion stickers than I probably wanted to, but again, I'm giving myself grace. It's a cycle of life and it's a valid emotion, and I'm perfectly okay with feeling that for myself. I will say towards the end of the month, I started feeling a lot better. I started having a lot less anxiety, a lot less mental health issues. So going into September, I was starting to feel a lot better. And now that we are in September while I'm filming this video, I am doing a lot better than I was in August for sure. Okay, so now let's talk about the weeklies. I have not changed my layout in the weeklies. I've really been enjoying well, actually, okay, I think I did change a little bit. So on the sidebar here, I basically took it from 2 lines that I was separating out. Here, I'll zoom in. I basically took it from 2 lines where I was just tracking my workouts and my meditation to making it 3 lines. So I would have a section for workouts, a section for runs, and a section for meditation. Again, all of this was good intentions, and I ended up not really using it for like the whole month, except for the meditation section. And then the next section is where I track my meals. This is basically a food log, if you will, like things that I'm consuming throughout the day. It's just fun for me to look back on and kind of re-reference, you know, maybe this is why I was feeling bad because I was eating bad or whatever. It's just a nice place for me to document and keep track of what I'm eating. I also, on the other side, have been keeping up with a fasting tracker. I will say on the weekends, I end up falling off, I think usually on Sundays, because I just move into the next week without even re-referencing the previous week. So I have a few Sundays that just don't have any data, which is okay. And then I ended up changing my meal ideas section to being more of like a meal plan. So I talked about this, I think, in another video, but I ended up printing out just a blank calendar and writing out a whole month of meals and leaving it on my refrigerator. And that helped tremendously in terms of planning meals around things that we were doing and making sure we had ingredients to make those meals and all of that kind of stuff. So I really have enjoyed having this kind of meal plan section, and then also having a small list of things that I need to eat up before they go bad. Usually, you know, fruits and vegetables, because those things go bad the fastest, but also some things like, you know, leftovers, if I have any leftovers from the previous week. Next section I've been keeping up with is my how am I feeling section, and this week was actually probably the worst week out of the whole month, because it was when I had to, you know, go to my grandmother's funeral, and, you know, she was buried and I had to speak at her funeral, and it was really tough. It was really tough. And at least the positives of it is like I got to see a lot of my extended family that I hadn't seen in a really long time. So there's that. Anyways, I'm going to move on before I start crying. And then at the bottom, I've been doing a routine tracker. So I've been keeping up with this. I've been changing my habits that I'm tracking, I guess, but I don't really consider this as habits because not all of these tasks are something I want to do every single day. Some of them are just checking off like, okay, when am I doing it? Like, am I cleaning the floors every day? Am I doing laundry every day of the week, or just 3 times a week? Whatever. It's just a nice little way for me to keep track of what I'm doing. But yeah, that's the layout that I've been contending with and that I've been keeping up with. And I've been consistent with that for the whole month of August. I just change up my colors with the different fountain pens that I was using, and then also the stickers are primarily from Sticky Club. Yeah. Second week of August, I don't think anything really changed except for the fact that I think I got really in a bad headspace because I didn't even fill out my weekend. I didn't even fill out this tracker up here. I don't think I filled out hardly anything here too. So it was, the intentions were there, but this week I think I just needed to be, you know, with myself, I guess. Looks like my happy moment was I got to have an anime night where I was just drinking wine and watching anime, which was pretty fun. I think the anime I was watching was like My Happy Marriage or something like that, and it was really good. It was like a romance action of one, I think. For the third week of August, these dog stickers, or dog washi, is from the washi tape shop. These are so cute and so fun. And I think having the brighter colors and the more happy vibe of this spread really helped me out. I got my nails done this week. And then, this was the week that my boyfriend ended up going out of town. So I ended up having girl dinner. Basically, I just ate a bowl of Lucky Charms and had a glass of wine. And that was my dinner, which was kind of fun. Just because, you know, when you're by yourself, you don't have to cook a whole meal and you can just eat whatever you have on your house. For the fourth week of August, I obviously gave up tracking any kind of workouts over here again because I just was not doing that at all this month. Mental health kind of took priority. It looks like my happy moment was, I had a really long talk with my mom this week. We talked for like 3 hours on the phone, and it was absolutely wonderful. I don't live close to my mom in terms of like distance. Time-wise, I can get to her in like about an hour. So having phone conversations with her, either weekly or monthly, has been really helpful to keep our relationship really good. And this was especially after my grandma died, it was her mother that died. So talking with her is kind of like a nice little bridge for both of us. And then the last week of August, I ended up just keeping up with the same layout. I did a lot more meditation on the last week of August, and I think that's because I was starting to feel better. This week was better. And then for my happy moment, this was the week I actually got to visit my mom. So we ended up going to my grandmother's house to help kind of clean it out, if you will. She was my last grandparent, so we were helping organize all of her belongings and help distribute items that were according to the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so we took a whole trip to go do that together, which was really nice. Okay, now let's get into the habit trackers in the back. I'm still loving my layout for this. I don't think I ever want to change this, honestly. I've done this 2, if not 3 years in a row now, and it works. It works, and if it works, why change it, But August, I definitely had a lot of really bad mood days, for sure, in my little sleep mood stress tracker up here. I slept a lot, which I think is really common if you're having mental health struggles. I'm not a medical professional in that sense, so I don't really think I can speak to, sleep and depression, but that's kind of how I was feeling. I was sleeping a lot more, and I was also having a lot of stress, and I don't really know where that stress was stemming from, but I just had these really horrible feelings of like anxiety, and just, it was not a good mental health month for me at all. And coming off of like the really bad month of July, going into like another kind of not worst month, but also bad month of August, I am very much moving on from that kind of energy, and I'm really happy about that. Anyways, I also documented all of my menstrual cycle stuff, and then I ended up writing down all the times that I was having alcohol, because I thought maybe having, those glasses of wine was affecting my mood in some way, and it's possible. I do have wine maybe like once or twice a week, if that. Honestly, don't drink very often. But I think maybe that could have been contributing to some of my mental health issues, because I don't really drink that often, and maybe I was drinking more in August. For the habit tracker itself on the bottom here, the page is getting really lumpy since everything else is filling out in the front of the book. I have not had to flip the book in on itself yet, though, which is kind of nice. We'll see how that gets towards the end of the year, but we'll see. But for my habits, I didn't do any exercise again, so I have like this whole blank row, which is kind of disappointing to me, but it's documented at least. And then I really fell off my language practice in August, so I was doing really good with practicing my Spanish. I'm trying to become fluent, and I've been a lot more conversational this year, but in August I just really fell off of my lessons. But in September I'm actually continuing my Spanish and starting Japanese, so I will talk a bit more about that once we get to the end of September and how that's going. But I'm really happy I tracked like all of my caffeine intake, and then fruits, vegetables, and like the days that I was eating out, which I did eat out a lot more in August as well, which I think comes down again to that mental health barrier I was having. Because when you're not in the best headspace, cooking a decent meal for yourself isn't always on the go. But I did cook some, and then we ate out probably, 12 times in August, which is a lot more than what my goals are. But yeah, so I'm glad I have all of that tracked out in my habit trackers. The next section is all about workouts, and look at that, it's blank. It is blank, which, again, I didn't work out at all because I was just really struggling. And I may go back in here and write in a little blurb of like, a journal entry, if you will, of like maybe what was going on, but I think I'm just going to leave it blank, honestly. And then the same can be said for my run, my running tracker or my running log. I don't have anything here as well because, again, I didn't do any runs. So it's kind of sad going from like full pages for the past, quarter to even like 6 months and then having a blank page. But, life happens, and I need to be accepting and kind to myself for that. The next section is my show and movie tracker. I didn't actually watch that many shows in August. I was still watching How to Get Away with Murder, which is so good, but I ended up dropping off, I think, after season 2024, and I didn't pick it back up again. I watched a few movies. I think, I'm trying to think of the one that I watched that was really good. Let me see if I have it on here. Oh, What Happened to Monday. It was on Netflix, and it had like one actress to 7 different like people in the movie. It was so good, and it was just a whirlwind. Like watching it, you were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But yeah, if you haven't watched What Happened to Monday on Netflix, if you have Netflix, I definitely recommend that movie. It was really, really good. It's kind of like a action thriller mystery almost. Yeah, it was really good. And then we watched another movie called Logan Lucky with Channing Tatum in it, and it was so funny. It had Daniel Craig and Channing Tatum in it. It was just so funny. We were laughing the whole time. But yeah, so there's that. I didn't add any recipes to my book for August. I actually haven't added anything since, I want to say, the beginning of the year. But I did end up adding in a reading tracker in the back. So I used one of my full page reading stickers. This is the Weeks color size. And I ended up writing out all of the different books that I have read so far in 2024. I took a colored marker that I correlated with the month. So January being gold, February pink, March green, April was this purple color, May was like a more corally color, etc. And I wrote a number inside the book on the tracker here. And then I ended up going the opposite direction in the pages because I don't know how many pages I'm going to need for this. And it's the back of the book anyways. But I ended up reading 45 books total for the year, which is almost double the goal that I had for myself. But in August, I read 13 books. Just gonna let that sink in for myself for a second. 13 books. I think my mind was trying to escape myself. That's kind of how I see that. That's a lot of books. And I'm not talking short books. I mean, I read A House of Earth and Blood, which was 800 pages. I read almost the whole A Touch of Darkness series, or Hades and Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair. I read the whole Wicked series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Like, I was just wanting to go into other worlds, and it was really fun. I had a lot of good times in those books, and the fantasy worlds that they created were really great. Still nothing quite like the Throne of Glass series. I still haven't reached that level of just heartbreak, I guess. But I'm impressed with myself that I made it through that many books in August. And I think it really was just me trying to, have my brain go into a happier place. But yeah, that is pretty much it for my health planner. I'm really happy that I added the reading tracker in here as well. I know I have it in another book, but having it in my health planner in this kind of layout is kind of fun to see because it's a little bit simpler, and it's just kind of fun, and I'm glad I did it. But yeah, that's it for my health planner. I don't really know how I feel about using a Sterling Ink book again for 2025. And I think I talked about this already when I did my mind mapping video. I did order a Hobonichi Weeks Mega for my health planner next year, and I think I'm going to be really happy with that, minus the fact that the left-hand page is not gridded, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited for 2025 planners. Even though we are in September, I realize there's still plenty of months left in the year, but it's just, this is a fun hobby for me. It's something I can get excited about, and I enjoy it. So I'm not going to deny myself that kind of joy. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video off here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. But for now, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.